Former NFL safety Ed Reed made headlines over the weekend after criticizing the poor conditions of Bethune-Cookman's athletic facilities. Reed had put the school on blast by showing the trash on the field and other equipment that wasn't up to par. After Reed went live, Bethune-Cookman released a statement and announced that Reed would no longer serve as the head football coach of the school. On Monday night, Reed made an appearance on Roland Martin Unfiltered, where he addressed the controversy and stated that the administration and AD are forcing him out. In that same conversation, he revealed he passed over coaching at Jackson State and Grambling in favor of Bethune-Cookman. Today we have our Comedy Hype analysts, Danielle Miller and Pierre, calling in to give both their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
Been mutton and showing shit. I chose not to, but now I'm out here walking with the football team, picking up trash. But I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man. I should leave. These motherfuckers ain't even clean my goddamn office when I got here. I'm mutting y'all? Get your ass, man. Come on, man. All this shit here was trash in front of me. Who you think got this shit cleared out? That building right there got trash in it. It's fucking trash. What are you talking about? I need no goddamn donors to come out and help out, because people just want money. That's why I don't fuck with social network. Fuck out of here, man.
Now, just to set up how we got here, before this live, Ed Reed was receiving a lot of backlash saying he's not doing enough and just different things. And I'm pretty sure in this you can hear him responding to some of those things specifically. But let me get your thoughts. Pierre, let me start with you. What was your reaction to the story when it first broke?
I'm here for this. Wow! What? Come on, y'all. Bro, Ed, I feel your pain, but you cannot go online displaying what you just did, talking so negative about the college. Sure, there might have been a better way to take it to the own, to the school people, the chancellors and all that. But to go online, I know you're passionate, but even if this was a Christian school, the cursing and so forth, brother, I know this new generation thinks you can say whatever you want and get stuff done. That ain't happening. You see what's happening now. They're not letting him coach, basically. Hopefully it turns around. Maybe petition gets enough to let him coach. But you can't go and talk like that to no damn about those schools that you're going to coach for. You can't do that. Not out in public. It just ain't working. You see where we are today. So I'm here for it.
Danielle, let me bring you in. And I must say that's a beautiful view to hear you from. So I love to get your thoughts. What's your reaction when this story first broke?
How could you expect to coach after that? Like, to me, it sounds like a video resignation letter, or I don't want this, because even in the video, he said, I should take my ass home. But then he was like retracting. You can't say stuff like that and then expect for the school to continue to onboard you. Like, you won't even, to my understanding, it wasn't even concrete that he got the job as yet. So to my understanding, contracts weren't finalized as yet. So you legit, I'm like asking them to like fire me when you do stuff like that.
Now, I want to lay this up, because after this, of course, we would see things continue to unfold online, and we actually were able to hear from the president himself on why he fired Ed Reed on Roland Martin Unfiltered. So let's take a look at that clip.
I needed him to really understand that we were a Christian institution, that behavior and character were clearly our priorities. And I asked him if that was okay with him. Could he abide by that? Could he, position himself as a role model for our student athletes as well as for the university itself? He indicated he would. Second question I asked is, well, great, I'm glad you're willing to do that. I need to know if you're also willing to build the kind of program that will allow you, because you've not been a coach before, this is an opportunity for you to be a head coach your first time. And therefore, we want to surround you with the kind of people that can draw up the X and O's and help you become a stronger coach. He said, I get that, and I'm willing to do that. The third thing, this is not University of Miami, and it's not the NFL. We just came through 2 hurricanes, $6 million worth of damage. Much of what we've been working on for the last year and a half is improvements not only to the university's infrastructure, but also a long-term investment plan. We have about $100 million that we need to invest in the university over the next several years. We said to him, look, you're going to become part of that. Are you open to helping us do that and build the program? He said yes to that. And when we think about the culture that we're trying to build, that we have companies and partners like Disney and some of our other partners calling saying, what are you going to do about that? We can't support that kind of image. They questioned what we were going to do. And I think that was an appropriate way to approach it, but they weren't the only.
So were they implying that they would pull support if he continued as head coach?
I think that as a leader, you have to make the decision. And if they are inquiring, they have a vested interest, they believe, in the image that they want to project. And you have to think, what are the possible outcomes of you continuing to do what you're doing?
So, Pierre, what do you think after hearing from the president and his reason? Do you think that the president made the right decision when it comes to firing Ed Reed?
For the school purpose, yes. But the thing about Ed Reed, I like, he's passionate, and we need passionate people. But sometimes it's the way you present yourself. You just can't be, straight from the hood talking like you're talking about a university, and especially a Christian university. It's just not going to work. He's not bigger than that school. And he's finding out that right now, that he's not bigger than that school. They'll replace him and find someone else that'll fit that situation and clean the place up. I'm surprised, again, Ed did that after the discussion that the school president said that he did, telling him that, there's a hurricane, that's why the school's messed up, and him to go and talk about the school being messed up. I just think Ed Reed chose the wrong course of explaining to himself. And I think he's now understanding it, that, he's not as big as the university, no matter what. If he thinks, he's passionate, he wants them to win, and he wants to be a good facility. I get it. They're not at that point right now. So you got to watch what you say when you're working for someone else.
Absolutely. Let me ask you something, Pierre, because you mentioned about like the passion. Do you think there was any influence of what we saw from Deion Sanders for Ed Reed in this situation?
Of course. I mean, they come from the same stock, they come from the hood. They became great players in the NFL. They were very passionate when they played. They're respected as far as their field generalship. So, he saw what Ed saw what Deion did, and was like, I want to duplicate that. And why wouldn't he? They talk to each other. They're friends. You know what I'm saying? But there's different universities, different star level, different things said, So
let me ask you one more question, Pierre, because I completely understand where you're coming from, but I kind of want to play devil's advocate on the university, both universities. And do you think the university should have known what they were getting into? Because Ed Reed even mentions, hey, did you not see my speech at the University of Miami? We know who Deion Sanders was before he went down to the school. Do you think the university should have any responsibility to know, hey, I know who I'm onboarding, I know who I'm hiring? Like you said, we know both of them to be passionate. And then, now that they're in these situations, it's like, oh, it's a big surprise.
Well, maybe they did, and that's why they asked him all those questions at first. Are you going to be in line with this school, with this Christian school? The man did ask him some stuff. So maybe they saw him and said, hey, so if I see that you're kind of passionate and crazy and wild, and I ask you, are you going to calm yourself down at the Oscars and talk normal and blah, blah, blah? And you say, yes, I'll do the right thing. And then you don't do the right thing. Am I responsible for saying, well, I should have known that you ain't going to change? Well, we all can change. We all know how to act a different way accordingly. And so that's why that guy asked those questions. Are you going to go align with our school? Maybe he did see the passion situation, but he didn't have to say, I don't want you to do that right there that you did before. If I ask you, hey, are you going to do this, this, and this for this school?
Great points. I just seen a lot of people in the comments, so I wanted to make sure I brought that up. Danielle, let me come to you with that same question. After hearing from the president on Roland Martin Unfiltered, do you think that he made the best decision? And also, do you think, because I know Pierre mentioned, do you think if Ed Reed was a bigger name, like a Deion Sanders, that this same situation would be unfolding the way that it is?
I think the situation would still unfold the way that it's unfolding. I think the school did make the correct decision. And let me tell you why. And let me break this down for everybody so that they understand. Let me bring it to common ground. T'Challa and Killmonger from Black Panther was the embodiment of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Your ways for getting awareness out there is not wrong, but it's how you do it and how you play the system. You can either choose to be a Killmonger and burn the whole place down to get results and be the activist, or you can be a T'Challa, which stays in the system and plays the game of the system and you are more of a politically correct approach. I don't think that what Ed Reed or what Deion Sanders did was wrong in terms of exposing the fact that HBCUs are underfunded and they need more money, but it's how you do that. And you have to pick a side. You can't be on both. You can't be on the activist side and expect for the institution to back you, because it's not going to happen. You either play politically correct or you be an activist, and you have to pick your poison. And in this case, Ed Reed, because of how passionate he is, he's more so of an activist. You can't expect to be an activist and keep the hierarchy positions in these institutions. You cannot do that. You have to play your role and you have to take your role. You see Malcolm X was never regarded. There is no Malcolm X Day. In history, we were always taught that Malcolm X was the bad guy because he was not politically correct. There's a Martin Luther King Day because he played the system. So you just have to choose your poison wisely as to how you want to express your passions out there. And I think for Ed Reed, he just chose the activist side. And when you do that, you can't expect the system to back you. You can't.
Yeah, I think both of you are making great points. Now, we would hear from Ed Reed again. He would follow up after the president did go on Roland Martin. He will respond and actually apologize as well for his actions. So let's take a look at that clip, and I want to get back and get your reaction.
I've been running for 20 years, man. 20 years to work with kids. I built the park in my own neighborhood. You understand? Because kids are dying. This ain't right, man. For Mr. Lawrence Drake, Dr. Drake, to come on and talk about me in that way. I knew this was a Christian school. I'm a Christian man. I know I played music, but do you see, he said he walked campus every day, right? I don't believe that. Because if you walk campus every day, you'll see what these young folk wear to school, man. You will see this. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They worse than the songs. You have crackheads walking through campus, man. There's no security for these young women and men. I'm not trying to bash the school. We were picking up trash when I was screen recorded. I didn't post that. Somebody screen recorded me and put that out there because they said I was mutting the school. I'm not mutting the school. We're picking up trash. At the time, you telling me I'm mutting the school. I'm on the ground grabbing trash from under trees behind bushes because my football team was acting too cute. Don't interview me. Interview them kids. Interview the team. Interview these young women and men. I'm not here for, man, I got a 14-year-old son who I've been missing his stuff for 3 weeks. I'm tired, man. This is exhausting, man. This man is evil, dude. I take parents to a basketball game, you understand me? And he don't come out during the warm-up at all. The parents are like, where's the coach? Then when you do come out, man, you got another man fixing your pants. We had the support. All I needed them to do was get out of the way. Don't have your hand in the pockets of football. Because I was moving too fast. So I went to Baltimore. I got drafted to Baltimore, and I went into Baltimore community as I'm still working in Baltimore community with Booker T. Washington. You understand me? I still work with this school. Abandoned buildings across the way. Yeah, I was wrong for the post. My homeboy posted the second post. He did that. That's what they do.
The passion that he has for these kids. Yes, he did not have his contract, but he was that dedicated. Yes, we know about the rant. Everything that was said probably wasn't professional, but at the same
time, it needed to be said. The Ku Klux Klan showed up to this school when Dr. McLeod was here. How can you do this? This is wrong, man. These kids deserve better, and I was giving it to them. And I still want to because I got 3 kids here right now, and they only want to play for me. They only came for me. They can't go no other school. How, man? Dr. Drake, you wrong, man. Don't do that. I turned down the Jackson State job to come here, Roland Martin. Jackson State Brown called me. Deion Sanders called me himself, man.
Man, I can't hold that one. That one definitely gets me emotional when I watch it. But let me get your reaction, Pierre. After hearing from Ed Reed on Roland Martin, what are your thoughts? And now do you have a different viewpoint of his approach?
No, still have the same view. He's a passionate man. He's very passionate about what he feels. And he feels for these kids. And it's just the manner that he went about it. You know, that video says what it says. He's cussing and talking about the school this, school that, and he says I wasn't saying all that. He was. They may get rid of him, realize the bad publicity, and then fix it up. Unfortunately, they're getting rid of him, and his name is going to have a bad, taste in some people's mouths. Some other schools may not want to hire him, feeling like, man, you ain't gonna talk about our school over here. We ain't right because we see how you do. So you got to know how to play the system. It's a game. It's a system. We all do it. Even you in the comments, you go to work and you play that game at work. There's people you want to cuss out at your job that you don't do, that you go home and talk to your wife or husband or kids about. I'm tired of the job. We have to play a game. It's a system we got to play. If you don't own it, if you ain't a boss like I am, a boss that runs his own shit, you want to play the game. And Ed Reed is trying to work for somebody. And sometimes we work for somebody, you got to work in their format. So all that yelling y'all gonna be doing here, do you go to your job and tell them what you want to do? How you don't like what you want? I don't think so. All right, thank you.
Danielle, let me bring you in and get your thoughts on that. After hearing from Ed Reed on Roland Martin, what are your current thoughts? Do you have any different viewpoint of his initial approach?
My only viewpoint that I want to add is the fact that he should have thought about his responsibility to the kids that he was recruiting. Let me bring another analogy so I could really paint the picture for people. There was Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Dame Dash was one of those persons that would burn the building down. He wouldn't care. He would go into meetings and he would say what's on his mind, which is rightfully him. He can do, he chooses to do what he wants, right? But Jay-Z chose to play the system. And from him playing the system, you see that he brought up artists as well as LeBron being signed to Rock Nation. Those artists are now billionaires. He's a part of the NFL halftime show with producing, and he's able to get Mary J. Blige and Dre and Rihanna, all those on there, because now he realizes he played the game because he saw his social responsibility to the community. So he chose to play the game in order to make sure that his people was straight. With Ed Reed, I think he should have thought about his responsibility to those players before he spoke out and think about the repercussions that they would now have by his action. So that's my only thought process hearing him speak. You really have to choose wisely what you choose to do in terms of getting results. Will you be that activist and flip tables, or will you play the system and play that long game in order to get the results that you want to see?
Absolutely. We're gonna have just the analoger. That's what Danielle Miller, the analoger. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm. So I do want to just be fully transparent. We did reach out to Ed Reed to try to get him on the show so that we can hear from him directly. He did respond with us with a link, with like a QR code that led to it looks like, and I'm going to pull it up, that led to a petition. Here's what it says. It says, reinstate Ed Reed as upcoming head coach. The description says, we've seen the change Coach Ed Reed has been bringing to our school. We also believe Ed Reed is the voice that will be heard because our voices as students obviously don't matter to the university. Danielle Miller, I'm going to come to you on this one to close us out because, we love a solution-based closeout. What are your thoughts? We'd heard Ed Reed, he's apologized. He said, hey, I still want to be a part of the university. We see the students, they created a petition. We've seen them, outside protesting. Do you think that Ed Reed and the university should try to make amends to move forward? Or do you think both should just move on in their separate entities?
Move on. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of the verbiage that he used and the fact that you didn't just go on a rant, but you also went on a rant and you took video and then you said, maybe I should take my ass home. That's like burning a bridge when you say something particularly like that. It's like another analogy. It's like if me and you are living together as a couple and you tell me out of the blue, and I think everything is good, well, take your ass out my house. That's going to burn me. And I'm always going to remember that burn. And even if I come back, that burn is in the back of my head consistently. So it's going to make the relationship a bit more difficult to deal with. So I think for both of them, I think they should agree to disagree and then go their separate ways. And I hope Ed Reed is able to get a coaching position in another HBCU, because I see that he's passionate, and I just hope that he learned his lesson from this.
Pierre, let me ask you that same closeout solution-based question. What are your thoughts? Do you think Ed Reed and the university should make amends and move forward together, or do you think they should just go their separate ways?
I have an analogy. Like, it's like when your white friend accidentally calls you the N-word and says, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean that, I didn't mean that. You always like, nah, bitch, you said the N-word. We can never rock the same way again, okay? We're not gonna rock. I know we can keep hanging out if you want to, but on back of my name, back of my head, I know you think I'm the N-word. So no, boo. So like she said, like the lovely Danielle said from overseas, that no, they should separate because we both know how they feel about each other inside that institute. If he still works there and the school still has him there, they're going to want to like monitor every single thing he says and look over his shoulder every 5 minutes, and he's going to feel kind of where he can't speak up anymore. So he needs to go to a school where they will appreciate or let him, rock the way he rocks. But this school here, Bethune-Cookman, you need to put some applications out right today and start looking for another coach, because I say, Ed Reed, go bounce to another school, homie, find another situation. I know the school's blah, 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 but I don't think it's repairable here. Because if he goes back on the campus and starts doing it, the kids are going to say, talk their stuff. If you don't talk their stuff, they're going to feel like he's selling out to the school. He ain't been 100. He's like, man, you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't speak the way he should speak, the way they feel like he should speak, and be their voice in a radical way, they're going to feel like he's not really a good coach, or he's really scared. He's Uncle Tom in it, and Ed Reed ain't no Uncle Tom. So I say find another school.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know. I definitely agree with both of you saying, but I disagree just a bit. I would like to see them have some type of conversation because of the protests that I'm seeing from the children. So I think there's so much more behind the scenes that we may not know. I know for myself, I would love to do more research on the university and what the kids have been experiencing before these hurricanes took place. So I would love to see them have a conversation, whether he is on board or not. I think that's what should happen from the conversation. But I would love to at least see them make amends, sit down, have that talk, just so things don't end on a bad note. Because I do think, Ed Reed has learned his lesson. I do think the university can learn from this as well. And I think it could be better, for the kids, because I am always going to be for the kids at the end of the day.
And for all those kids, all people, not kids, people commenting and saying, Ed Reed did the right thing, Ed Reed did the right. Ed Reed even said he didn't do the right thing. He even said, I should have changed. So before you get any comments about, he should have done what he did, he even said, nah, man, I did the wrong way. There's no, my passion overtook my situation. So, I think he learned his lesson.
Absolutely. Well, as always, I appreciate y'all for chiming in on this one. I got to know what's going on. So Miss Danielle Miller, the analogist with a lovely background from the Bahamas, what do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
What I have coming up is, of course, like I said last week, we're gearing up to start the new season of Sith. We're on season 4. So make sure you follow my YouTube channel. It's Danielle, Denielle. Watch the episodes that are there and stay tuned for more episodes. And then you can follow me on Instagram at DEEA Miller. And on Facebook, it's Danielle. And on Twitter, it's, I think, DEEA Miller. I don't tweet much, but I lurk.
I love it. And Mr. Pierre, last, certainly not least, what do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Well, what I got coming up is, like I said, season 3 of Pierre's Panic Room is out. Got my girl Luenell on it. Last week we had Steven Jackson on it. Had a great time with Steven Jackson. I had a great time with Luenell. So Luenell kicks the, as the old schools used to say, kicks the Willy Bobo. Talks about all kind of good stuff. I'm excited. I think y'all really gonna like her in this interview I did with her. And I'll be in Exton. I think Exton, EXTON, Pennsylvania. I think it's on the, I don't know, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll let y'all know. But Exton, I'm coming, and Phoenix, I'm coming. But I'm coming, okay? Don't worry about that. I'm getting there.
Pause. I'm coming. All right. Well, again, thank you both.
Wow. That's what we're doing this morning.
Thank you both for chiming in on this topic. You heard from us, then we heard from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about Ed Reed responding to being fired? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
You know what to do. Put it in them comments.
In the
Because I'm coming.
Big fan of the Comedy Hype News Show? Well, now you can join us live in studio for lunch at Comedy Hype. Click the link down below in our description or go to our Instagram page and click the link in our bio for your chance to RSVP. I hope to see you here for Comedy Hype News. I'm Symphony Thompson.